Hello, my dear children. Very good morning to one and all. Come to today's class. Today we are going to learn chapter 10. In this lesson, we are going to learn about verbs, auxiliary verbs, transitive and intransitive verbs. First, let us read about verbs. A verb is a word used to describe an action, state of occurrence and forming the main part of the predicate of a sentence. A verb may tell us what a person or thing does, what the person or a thing is doing. Ali laughs, the clock strikes, Maria works hard. So here we are learning about the person, the subject, what it is doing. What is done to a person or thing. For example, Sarah was scolded. The window is broken. What a person or thing is. What the person. What the subject. The cat is dead. Class is brittle. I feel sorry. She is late in the class. Verb state in which a person or thing is. For example, Amanda knows how to score a goal. So what the person knows, what the subject knows, how we can express through verb only, we can express. So Amanda knows how to score a goal. Now let us read about the helping verbs. We can call it helping verb or auxiliary verbs. So the main verbs is the most important word. The helping verb comes before the main verb. Main verb is main important in a sentence. So the verb is the action, as we all know. So the main verb is very important in a sentence. The helping verb comes before the main verb. What is the functions of auxiliary verb? Used to tell tense, what tense it is, whether present tense or past tense, can be used in negation or interrogation. We can use to make a negation sentence or an interrogative sentence. Used in a short answers. Used to form question tags. There are three kinds of auxiliary verb is there. One is primary auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries, semi-modal auxiliaries. Now let us read one by one. First we are seeing primary auxiliaries. Be, is, am, or, being, been, was, were, have, has, had, do, does, did. These are primary auxiliaries. Now modal auxiliaries. Will, would, can, could, may, might, shall, should, must, ought. These are modal auxiliaries. Now semi-modal auxiliaries is a need, used and dare. So for shall and should we use for future tense. Shall I go to Shillong next year? Express suggestion or advice. Shall we go to play football now? Express an duty or obligation. You should not travel without a ticket. Used when seeking advice. What should I do now? For these things we can use shall or should. When we can use will and would to express future tense. He will like your idea. To express a wish and a determination. Given a chance, I would certainly go to the Himalayas. I will like to go on a cruise. To express an invitation. Will you join us for lunch? Use would with please. Would and could are very kind words we can use in our conversation. How to use can and could to express ability, capability and capacity. He can lift this log with ease. Make a request. Can you help me with this sum? Could I borrow your vehicle for a day? As I told, could and would is a polite words. Express permission. You can go out to play. Express past ability. I could write neatly when I was young. Then how we can use may and might? To seek, give permission. May I help you with your bag? You may go out to play now. To express a curse or wish. You may suffer bitterly for every mean act you do. May God bless you. To express strong possibility. It may rain this afternoon. Then how we can use must to express duty or obligation. We must do as our teacher tells us to do. We must look after our parents in their old age. To express compulsion or necessity. You must be punctual in all matters. You must hurry, otherwise you will miss the bus. So for permission, we can use can, may, could. For ability, we can use can or could. Possibility, we can use may, might, could. Make request, we can use can, could, would. For offers, can, should, will. When you are offering the offers. Give, seek advice, you can use should. Probability, you can use should, will, must. For obligation, we can use should, must, ought to. For necessity, must, have to, need to. For habit, we can use used to or would. Now let us read the transitive or intransitive verbs. First let us read about transitive verb. A transitive verb is used with a direct object, transmit action to an object, and may also have an indirect object which indicates to or for whom the action is done. In other words, the transitive verb is a verb that transmits action to an object. So in the transitive verb, we can find always the object. So without object, the transitive verb cannot complete or give the sense for the sentence. For example, he sent the letter. Here letter is a direct object of send. She gave the lecture. Lecture is a direct object of gave. In these sentences, something is being done to an object. A transitive verb can also have an indirect object that precedes or comes before the direct object. The indirect object tells to or for whom the action is done, although the words to and for are not used. For example, he sent Robert the letter. The direct object is a letter, receives the action send. The direct object Robert is the person to whom the letter is sent. She gave her class the lecture. The direct object is the lecture, receives the action gave. The indirect object class is the group to whom the lecture is given. Now let us read about the intransitive verbs. An intransitive verb does not take an object. She sleeps too much. He complains frequently. Now let us revise about the direct and transitive and intransitive verbs. Verbs that take direct objects are called transitive verbs. The meaning of a transitive verb is incomplete without a direct object. So we can find in the transitive verb object. For example, she is drinking a glass of water. Verbs that do not take direct object are called intransitive verbs. In an intransitive verb, there will not be a object. Only subject and verb will be there. Some complement words will be there. But there will not be a object. The meaning of an intransitive verb is a complete by its own. She is standing. She is a subject. He is standing. Here he is an auxiliary verb. Standing is a main verb. So there is no subject. That's why it is a intransitive verb. So my dear children, revise once again and learn the definition which is given in your grammar book, and you will understand more deeply. Thank you. Have a nice day.